list rose on True TV 76,000. I said this last time. Shout out to Mrs. Me Too.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person. It's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
You may be wondering what went wrong when Angel Reese was meant to be the next great thing in women's basketball, but things aren't going as planned. The unrivaled league's viewership is declining and fans are abandoning the game in large numbers. Let's examine them. Surprising demise of Angel Reese and the unequaled league, as well as the reasons why people are refusing to watch to understand how a player with so much hype ended up serving as the face of a failing league.
WNBA. Just when you thought ratings for Unrivaled could not get any lower, America sends a clear message. Actually, America sent them a clear reminder. We are not interested in watching pretend basketball.
Rewind to when this league first started, when the hype was incredible and 300,000 people watched the first few games. Angel Reese was supposed to be the face of this revolution, and everyone was saying that she would be the next big thing, the player who would make us all forget about college ball. Remember how everyone thought the unmatched league was going to change women's basketball forever? Well, that dream quickly turned into a nightmare.
Let me know, wasn't it Angel Reese that said people are tuning in for her? Not just that one girl, but people are tuning in for her too. And that she was part of the reason that we had the rise in ratings.
When Reese plays, you might be wondering, wait, isn't Angel Reese supposed to be a superstar? Because that's what everyone thought, but the truth is that it's been a completely different story. As the season progressed, those viewer numbers started dropping faster than a bad shot. And we're talking about games barely hitting 100,000 viewers.
Angel Reese might be well known. Angel Reese may be a star on social media, but there's a huge difference between a star and a draw. The truth is, Angel Reese is not a draw.
The league placed all of its money on Reese's star power, expecting her to draw fans like Caitlin Clark, but guess what? Instead of dominating, Ray is struggling and looking lost, getting benched for players like Lexi Hall. Can you believe it? The player who is meant to represent the league is viewing from the sidelines while others take the initiative.
Lexi Hall, Indiana Fever saved their ass. But that's not the point. It's funny how that works. When Angel is sidelined and the focus isn't on her, look at me, her teams, generally speaking, actually get a victory. Why doesn't this tell anybody anything?
You may be asking why fans aren't paying attention when Angel Reese plays. The answer is straightforward. They aren't witnessing the dominant performer they were hoping for. It's like seeing a whole different player from the one we saw in college, because Reese isn't living up to the hype. She struggles on defense, doesn't seem to be able to contribute on offensively, and appears to be out of sync with her team.
The individual star power doesn't seem to be drawing crazy. This doesn't seem to be changing anything. Because the Phantom, with or without Sabrina, get the same endings. The Rose with Angel Reese are the least viewed team in the league. They are, or at least one of the least viewed.
However, this is where things start to become really interesting as other players rise up while Rhea is struggling. It seems as though the league lucked across a star as their selected one faded away, but Kate Martin, who wasn't even on most people's radar, is out there balling. She's consistent, influential, and doing everything Rhea was meant to do.
Off-season, but we've got to be completely honest here. It is a league first and foremost, and the most important thing is that the league long term is going to be profitable, or at least it looks like it has the potential to be. Otherwise, once that TV deal is done 3 years, it's over. And right now, this has not been the greatest look in the world for right.
And let's not forget about Caitlin Clark, who isn't even in this league, but whose shadow looms large every time her name appears. It's like a painful reminder of what the unrivaled league is missing. Instead of creating their own superstar, they're left with a tournament without the real deal all. Right, let's dive into the numbers, because they're telling a story that will blow your mind. You might be thinking that there are only a few bad games, but stay put, because what's happening with the unrivaled league is far worse than anyone could have imagined.
But Angel Reese specifically has been brutally exposed, and her own fans have stopped watching her in this. They have stopped watching. Have you know? 89,000 viewers last Saturday when she was on TV. 89,000
Remember that huge debut with 300,000 viewers. While those days are long gone, some games are barely drawing 100,000. And it gets worse when Angel Reese performs, for example, last Saturday's game included Angel Reese on the court at prime time. How many people do you think watched? 89,000. That's all they could manage in a league that was meant to transform women's basketball.
The scariest thing is that the Rose and Lunar Owls game had 89,000 people. There were less than 100,000 people watching this game. I mean, that is crazy. It's absolutely great. Like, this was a game where Angel Reese played. She is supposed to be the biggest draw in the league.
The numbers actually increase when other players like Kate Martin hit the court, though, and it seems as though fans are purposefully ignoring Reese's games. Can you believe that people are no longer paying attention to the player who is meant to represent the league?
Yes, folks, the battle between Dejanay Carrington and Angel Reese barely broke 75,000 viewers. 76,000 viewers? Are you kidding me? Are you shitting me right now? And tell me again how you're moving the needle. I kid you not. If Caitlin Clark would have played in that game, it would have got 500,000 viewers.
You may be wondering now if this is just Ree, or if the league as a whole is disintegrating. It turns out that the league is relying on star power, but in the absence of real superstars like Caitlin Clark, it is finding it difficult to maintain interest, and Ree is becoming into the spokesperson for that failure.
And it's not just my calculations. Headline of the Sports Business Journal, Unrivaled averaging 204,000 viewers today. Monday night, there were 2 more games broadcast on TNT. The first game was between the Final and the Phantom. Interesting choice of words, Phantom. It perfectly describes their ratings. Their audience is a ghost. They literally cannot find people willing to watch.
The league's average viewership has decreased to 204,000. That is a far cry from what they had hoped for. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion every week as the numbers worsen and people begin to question whether this league can even survive. But here's the thing, experts say that Reese's presence may not be the draw, rather it's about how they're playing her college performance at the bar high, but now she's not living up to the hype and fans are noticing.
Angel Reese failed to break 100,000 viewers. Now tell me again how everybody's tuning in for you.
Imagine this: Angel Reese standing at the logo crowd, holding their breath, about to take a deep 3 Caitlin Clark style. This is her moment to silence the doubters. You have to wonder what the league is going to do. They bet everything on creating their own superstar, but instead they're left without the real deal. Every time her name is mentioned, it's like a painful reminder of what the unrivaled league is missing. Time appears to slow down as the ball leaves her hands, arcing in the air, but then whoosh, it's not just a miss, it's an air-all so awful that the entire audience groans.
But it's like when Angel Reese shot that deep 3, there was 10 seconds of silence after the air ball. No one knew what to say. It's completely fine to say, I like the confidence, probably a bit too far for Angel Reese. I like the confidence in her shooting though. Like, that is a not negative point.
You may be thinking that everyone has bad shots, but this wasn't your typical shot. This was Reese's attempt to demonstrate that she could effortlessly perform the same feats as Caitlin Clark, and let me tell you, it backfired greatly. It's like seeing someone attempt to perform a magic trick they saw on TV only to discover it's a dirty sock.
Showed the other day where she lined up for that wide open top of the key 3 and then airballed it. Holy crap, the fallout from that is still ongoing right now. She's still getting crushed.
However, as Ree is out there shooting up air balls, this is where things start to get really interesting. Kate Martin is playing like a real pro. She isn't attempting to be someone else. She is just giving it her best, creating plays and winning with her team. Martin is letting her game speak for itself and speculating about what fans are taking notice of.
So there's probably not one individual player that has benefited more from Unrivaled than Kate Martin. Look, Kate Martin was somebody that came into the WNBA and nobody, and I mean nobody, thought she was going to make the Las Vegas Aces roster. Like, the Las Vegas Aces drafted 3 players. Obviously, Liz Kitley's injured. Everyone thought Liz Kitley's probably going to go make that Vegas team eventually. And a lot of people thought that Asia Fair was going to make that team. But that Asia Fair gets cut, Kate Martin makes the team, and within 5 games, she is a starter.
There's no sharper contrast while Martin is out there grinding away at the tiny things that win games. Ray is all flash. And no substance trying to be somebody she's not. And it's painfully clear she's tough, versatile, and has that real relentless focus that coaches adore.
Angel Reese got a little bit of her own medicine last night from Kate Martin. Now, she flopped around on the ground like she's LeBron's play cousin out there because we know he's the ultimate flopper.